Hello, my name is Neil Holbert, and I'm your host for Running Ribashda. I'm here at Boards and Brews in Manchester, New Hampshire, a fantastic local game bar. And this is a series where I give you my tips on running the game. So, many times you'll be faced with questions at the end. Hard decision. Do I kill the character in front of me because the dice damage came up that hard behind my screen, even though it's not a great moment for that character to tank it in the storyline? Do I let the thief actually steal that MacGuffin that's super important to the plot point? Or do I want to make him fail and get caught by the big bad? What do? Do you make the choice that's more fun for your players? Or do you make the decision that's right for your story? It's a hard choice, and every dungeon master is going to find that at some point in their dungeon mastering career. The important part here is to run behind your screen with honor. You need to show your players respect. They came to your table to have fun and to get those amazing stories that you've built for them to tell for years in comic shops, around card tables, all across the country. You have to respect your players. Sometimes that means making them work for those moments, and sometimes that means you watch them fail and just deal with the glorious consequences that come out of it. Just as important as respecting your players, you've got to respect yourself. If somebody's at your table and they're bringing up some kind of thing in the game that you don't want to deal with, you need to know when to draw the line. Because frankly, it's your table. Own it. If there's language happening in your game that you're not comfortable with, pull that player aside, either during a break or after the session, and speak with them about it. Because those players should respect you behind your table when they're at your table. It's your game. We also have the issue of sometimes you just gotta roll with the fun that's happening. You might have tried to make a scene for your session that's going to be super serious. All of a sudden, they're talking a trade negotiation with the Count inside of his fortress, and they're surrounded by enemy troops. Well, your bard just happened to make a really good joke about one of the serving wenches. And the rest of the players are starting to ham it up. Do you try and bring them back into a serious game in that moment? Or do you let your players have that moment that they're going to talk about for years afterwards, when they were deep in enemy territory at the Count's table, and all of a sudden, the crazy bard hit on one of the waitstaff? That might not be the type of game that you're looking to run, but it might be the type of game that your players want to be in. That's a decision you need to make. I can't tell you a right or wrong way to make that decision because that's your game. The last thing I want to talk about today is fudging your dice rolls. This is a contentious topic of debate in the gaming community. If you're not going to use the numbers that come up on your dice, what's the point of even having them? But sometimes it's a bad call. Sometimes the dice come up and it's not what you or the players at your table want to see. That's when it might be appropriate to fudge your dice roll. Or, if you want to be an impartial dungeon master, you have to deliver that bad news, but you try and skin it in the best way possible. So the red dragon swooped down and dealt 138 damage to the player that only has 58 health. That's a rough road to hoe. All of a sudden, that party has a real reason to try and get that player back to town, to a healer, to get resurrected. And there's a harsh vendetta now to go hunt down that dragon. There's a pretty good argument for letting the player live or letting the player die. And that's really up to you. So while you're behind that screen, do your best to run your game with honor.